All right, the last one I'm going to talk about in here is collective amnesia. Collective amnesia. The idea that we have forgotten something our ancestors knew very, very well, our closeness with the earth. Attitudes and perceptions that contributed to an ability to empathize and identify with non-human life, a respect for the mysterious, and a humility in relationship to the infinite complexities of the natural world. All of these things are not part of the dominant culture, not part of the industrial growth society at all. Some say it could be traumatic amnesia. My friend Richard Heinberg thinks this is what happened, that long ago there were cataclysmic events that caused us to bury or repress these memories or understandings. It might have been volcanoes or floods, you know, the myth of the flood or the story of the flood in the Bible. This shows up many, many places. It probably happened, right? There were prolonged periods of freezing, long ice ages that our Neanderthal selves probably remember. Invasions and forced migrations. Around the 15th century before the Christian era, a volcanic eruption on the island of Thera happened with earthquakes and tidal waves, and this just obliterated Minoan culture, which might be, by the way, the prototype for the stories of Atlantis. Anyway, all of these different things, including human invasions, onslaught on pagan peoples, the Black Death of the Middle Ages, and of course the original trauma of domestication, when the human relationship with the natural world was gradually changed from one of respect for and participation in its beautiful wholeness to, as Glendinning says, one of detachment, management, control, and finally domestication. All of these things may have led to us wanting to not have that kind of relationship anymore because it's so traumatic and painful, right? But then forgetting all the important good parts of it too, how to live right and how to feel held. Now the idea of collective amnesia out of all of these, I believe holds more hope, since we can always remember. We have help all over the place for this one, from indigenous folks who've been trying to help for a long time. They haven't forgotten. And the whole of the non-human world, or more than human world too. They're all still here and they have not forgotten. And in fact, books like Kat Anderson's, come on Tina, what's it called? Tending the Wild, that's it. Remind us that we are actually needed. It's not like we're a cancer on the earth, which is one of the stories that so often gets told by people who wake up to these things and have a lot of heart, that, it'd be better if humans just disappeared. That's not true. If you look at California native tribes like she did, you find out that actually the land benefited in many ways from humans treating it more like temporary gardens. We helped the land in exchange for being helped by it. It's a reciprocal relationship. For example, red bud trees. This is how she puts it, red bud trees. Even if you could weave baskets with the skill that these people did a few generations ago, you wouldn't be able to make the same baskets because the red buds are now different since they're not being tended. It used to be that the people would cut them back like coppice them, so they'd be short, and then when the pieces came back, the shoots would grow straight and thin. And when you don't do that, they grow thick and crazy like this, and so you can't make the same baskets because the red buds are now different, and they're also fire prone. And many of the native folks feel that sudden tan oak death, which is happening all over California. It's like the potato blight in Ireland. The tan oak, not a true oak, it's called a tan oak. Anyway, these beautiful trees are dying, and probably none will make it. And it's entirely possible that this is happening because people are no longer tending these huge wild swaths of them like they used to. So, if we remember how to live in right relationship with the more than human world, it's not only we that will benefit. Rusek says, repression of the ecological unconscious is the deepest root of collusive madness in industrial society and open access to the ecological unconscious is the path to sanity. I'm not going to tell you how to rehabilitate the ecological unconscious. I have my own ideas, but I'm also interested in yours. So we'll stop there. I'd like you to read all of these different ideas, these psychological interpretations of where we're at, and see if any of them resonate for you. See what you think about the whole idea of applying psychological ideas to societal problems, to a whole collective. I mean, is there even such a thing as an isolated, autonomous individual?